The last course made you more aware of your skills and how you can develop them. We looked at what roles are out there and which you might want to explore, and at the end of the course you submitted a report on your plans for achieving success. Imagine, it's semester 1 of your second year and you've just received a telephone call offering you an internship. You found it nice and early, meaning you can concentrate on the rest of your academic work. But what did you have to do before receiving this good news? Well, employers use lots of different ways to find their chosen candidate for an internship or placement role. In this lesson, we're going to look at the different methods you will encounter in your search for work experience and how the attitudes of the employer might change for each. We'll focus on the detail of each stage in later lessons. The purpose of this lesson is to give you an understanding of the process as a whole. But first, the facts. Finding a placement or internship requires considerable effort, which is why you're taking this course. For any role, an employer might receive hundreds of applicants. From this number, they need an efficient, cost-effective way to find the people or person they want to hire. The way they do this is the recruitment process, and to a certain extent it's a bit like a computer game. You need to pass each level in order to unlock the next, ultimately meeting the boss, or a nicer version of them, in the final level. Now, what levels or stages an employer chooses to give you depends on their organisation. If they're a smaller organisation with a smaller number of applicants, they'll likely give you a shorter path to the final stage. But a large organisation with hundreds, maybe thousands of candidates might use 5 or 6 levels to sort through applicants before a lucky few get to meet the boss. So, let's see what levels you might encounter. Whoever you apply to, your first level is always going to be the application form. This is the easiest stage to get right, but it's also the stage that most applicants fail to pass. Your employer might ask for a CV and cover letter or an online application. Whatever they choose, they're looking for 3 key things. Does this person want to work for us? Does this person have the skills and experience we want? And does this person meet our other criteria? You'll become an expert at how to pass this stage, the application, over the remainder of this Get Application Ready course. But importantly at this point, the employer has loads of candidates and is looking for a reason to get rid of some. So don't give them an excuse for it to be you. This is really worth emphasising. If you don't submit an excellent application, you won't be successful. Spend time getting your application right, however, and you'll be forwarded to the next level. If you find yourself not getting responses from employers, or not getting past this first application stage, then something's wrong. Book an appointment with us and we'll help you improve your technique. What's next? Well, one way employers like to test their remaining applicants is through online tests, which examine your abilities in things like maths, logic, and reasoning. Lots of applicants will fall at this stage, but the good news is that you can practice these to help you succeed. You'll become a pro at online tests in future lessons. Once you pass the online tests, you're well on your way through the application game. Lots of employers might choose to invite you to a telephone or video interview now to get a quick impression of you and to hear more about some of those skills you mentioned in your application. They can last anything from 10 to 45 minutes, and the key here is preparation. Lots of applicants fall down at this stage. It can be as high as 50%, but there are lots of different techniques you can use to pass this level, and you'll receive some expert advice in a later lesson. Get past this level and you're almost there. You might be invited for your final interview now, but larger employers will often get you to face a tricky level first, the assessment centre. You'll be invited with lots of other candidates who might be applying for different roles for a day in which you can demonstrate your skills to the organisation. Luckily, they don't look like this. You might be asked to do a presentation, take part in group tasks, and will almost certainly have an interview. Assessment centres are really important to prepare for, and we'll give them the attention they deserve in later lessons. For many, the assessment centre will include your final interview, but others might be invited back for this final boss level afterwards. Just about every opportunity out there will have a final interview as a last stage to conquer before you find your role. Once you make it to the final interview, a recruiter is likely to be a lot more positive thinking. Rather than looking for excuses to discount your application, like in earlier stages, they're far more likely to want to hear positively about your experiences and will want you to shine during your interview. So be proud. You've got this far, to this final stage, and they're very interested in you. We'll give you lots of help in year 2 to make sure you're equipped to succeed. So that, in brief, is the recruitment process explained. Like I said, you won't necessarily find all of these stages in each of your applications. What you do encounter will be up to the organisation you're applying to. And after getting through it successfully comes the phone call. In the rest of this lesson, we'll look into more detail about the differences between the practices of smaller organisations versus large multinationals, and we'll have a look at some interesting statistics relating to the number of candidates that fall out at each level.